Hey, good afternoon. It is 2:45 on this hot 87-degree day. It is Tuesday, the 16th. Just wanted to drop a little video recording on my way home. Hopefully you can see me. I had to open up the sunroof, let some sunshine in because the exposure is again a little dark. Hopefully you can hear me as well. I don't know which is better, this or this. I don't know. Anyhow, as usual, spent the day listening to different commentary on the YouTube channel. You know, it's not something that everybody does. It's not something that everybody appreciates. I think that it's a God-given appreciation for the amount of information that I take in 8 to 10 hours a day. Obviously you don't absorb every single thing, or remember, I should say, every single thing that you heard, but there are key things going on in the economy and the financial sector and the political realm, geopolitical realm, that sticks with me. And that's what I hope to discuss and record and get out to you guys. But anyhow, lots of talk still on the hack. Supposedly there was a ransomware 2.0 that was actually released, and so last I hear, it is still being spread. So lots of people still being affected according to the reports. But what I really wanted to address is why. If you caught yesterday's recording, I kind of detailed a little bit about, or gave a little bit of my opinion on the matter as far as why this is happening right now. I don't know if you're paying attention to the news, but there's reports of tank and troop movements in South Korea, apparently. There's American tank movement to the border of Russia. There's now the latest thing I've heard is they're blaming North Korea for this attack, saying that it's a likely probability that it is North Korea, is what I'm hearing. But what I'm finding disturbing about this is that the track record of the United States and its militarized type of persona, if you will, is that we always agitate or point fingers at other countries, and most times we find that there's some type of diabolical scheme behind the reason why we are pointing fingers. Enter Iraq and Saddam Hussein. It was weapons of mass destruction. Then the inspectors go in there and find out that there in fact was no weapons of mass destruction, all the way up to today, where it's Bashar al-Assad is poisoning or harming its own people. So lo and behold, big bad United States military, and I don't mean that as a stab against the men and women that serve. I'm talking about the puppet masters, if you will, those who are pulling strings and actually sending our children into battle scenarios because of their own greed and corruption. So I just see more of the same. Now, as far as the ransomware attack, what is supposedly happening is that this ransomware that was designed by the NSA supposedly got leaked or stolen from the private contractors, and they got this ransomware or created this ransomware out of that, and then are using that to exploit people for Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is a digital currency that's basically hit all-time highs as people are losing confidence in the fiat currency, or the United States dollar, aka petrodollar. People are losing confidence in that, and they are flooding into digital currencies, which are decentralized and no one controls. Hopefully the exposure gets brighter here. I'm sorry, guys. Well, not really much to see here anyways. But anyhow, and so people are naturally flooding into something that they find safe, that they're looking for safety, something that where their finances are secure, or at least more secure than the fiat currency from the central bank. And so, of course, big government isn't going to like that, because they want to keep and maintain control over the citizens. That reminds me, I did a little digging and a little research. Now, the jury is out on this, so to speak. But when I looked up someone else's research, I'll say that I can't really cite the source because I don't have my notes with me now. This is kind of just my drive along. But when I looked up the original meaning of government, obviously it's two words, govern and ment. This individual, after digging back into the Greek and the Latin of the original context, it came out to mind control. I think it's like Latin for mentes, M-E-N-T-E-S, which means mind, and govern, which means to control or to steer. So mind control is where he ended up coming to. But I just wanted to throw that in there, because isn't that in fact what is happening through television programming? That's why it's called television programming, because you're being programmed through the different shows and the propaganda that they push. It should be widely known now that the media, at least the mainstream media, is owned and run by these elitists. You heard during the election process, Trump referred to them as fake news, and now that phrase is caught on, so that's being grossly overused, I'm sure, on both sides now. So they're actually in YouTube censoring people now and accusing them of promoting fake news. But anyways, getting back, so people are trying to get away from the mind control of the government. And so now the government, big government, is trying to get back control, and I'm sorry about the shaking, trying to get back control and keep the people locked into the centralized banking system, central banking system. So they're going to pull out all the stops, the NSA, and potentially using this hack in order to scare people about Bitcoin. I don't think I need to detail how that could be done, but if necessary, here you go. Basically, this hack is saying they take control of your computer operating system, especially the Windows system, and they get basically a hold of all of your content, and then they blackmail you for a certain increment of Bitcoin. and I believe the amounts were between 300 and 600 US dollars worth of Bitcoin. And so there's an extortion there, obviously. And so that's, in turn, scared people. And as a result, the stock has dropped. I believe as of yesterday, it was like $200 to $300. The stock had dropped. So we see the effect. You know. So you got to ask the question: how does your average hacker get into the NSA to be able to steal this type of capability, this type of ransomware? How does that happen? If the NSA can't protect, when in fact the NSA is the national security agency for the whole entire United States, then what good is it? You know? So I don't buy it. Alright, so where does that leave us now? Well, we know there's wars and rumors of wars, as the Bible has prophesied. You know, it looks like the powers that be, the centralized power system, is losing somewhat of their hold and their power. So now they're desperately grasping for it. And that's why, you know, when the government and the powers that be, when they see that their power and authority is slipping away, then they start pulling out diabolical schemes, and they definitely take us to war. You know, so it's no wonder that this is what we're experiencing. And I don't believe that, like I said in the post yesterday, I don't believe that us being on the precipice of war is by a mistake. I believe it's by design, because there's nothing left that they can do. Because as the information gets out, because of the power of the web, which I can pretty much assure you they probably wish they would have never designed, or at least give us the freedoms that we have with the internet. But now that it has happened, see, technology can be good, but it can definitely also be bad. And so that's a lesson that humanity needs to learn and come to understand and come to respect. But nonetheless, this will definitely not be the end of these type of hack attacks and schemes. As I detailed yesterday on yesterday's report, you may remember the East Coast, the Mirai virus, and the effect that it had, which I believe was a beta test. I believe this is somewhat of a beta test as well, because I think there will be a lot more to come in the very near future. I would not put it past them to pull a grid down type scenario, even if it's a localized grid down scenario. I would not put it past them, because they have to get back the control of the people. And so you should definitely be preparing, storing food, water, you know, attaining weapons, guns, ammunition, and the like, whatever you need and your family needs to protect what you have and to make sure that you can eat. And definitely things like medical supplies, especially if you have family members that may need specific medicines, diabetes medicines and all that. I really apologize for the shaking, but what am I going to do? I'll have to make sure I plant it better for the next recording. But hey, it's a little texture. But anyhow, just wanted to put this out there again. Yeah, lots of things are going to be happening, things that, you know, we've never experienced before. Hopefully that's better. So expect it. But make sure that you're prepared, and make sure that you are letting other people know and making other people aware. Remember the days of Noah. You know, people will sometimes think you're crazy and all that kind of stuff, but hey, when the time comes, they can't say that you didn't warn them. You know, and you're going to warn the people that you care about and you love. And that's why I do what I do here, irregardless of, you know, what people may think. But, alright, I think that's enough on this posting. This is Courtney Scott with Knowledge Well Media. And don't forget to find God in your day and make it a great day. Alright? Thanks for tuning in. And I covet your comments, your questions, your concerns. Do me a favor and hit the like button if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, then hit the unlike or dislike button. And that way at least I can get some kind of response out of you. Alright? But if you enjoy it and you want more of it, make sure you hit the like button. Thanks for tuning in. It's Courtney Scott signing off.